What is a biogeochemical cycle? You live in a biological ecosystem that shows a constant flow of energy between various organisms. There is an exchange of nutrients, which basically translates to exchange of energy. Nutrients ultimately are chemical compounds. So, there is this natural pathway where the living matter is constantly circulated. Nutrients are never lost from an ecosystem. Recycling of these nutrients happens at every stage. This recycling of the nutrients through different components in an ecosystem is called the nutrient cycle or biogeochemical cycle. Here, the chemical elements are always recycled. Whereas heat is dissipated, energy flows but the matter is always recycled. To get a better idea, see the movement of water, which is a chemical compound, H2O. It moves between different living and non-living forms in various places in the biosphere. Types of biogeochemical cycles. Broadly, the biogeochemical cycles can be divided into two types: the gaseous biogeochemical cycle and sedimentary biogeochemical cycle based on the reservoir. Each reservoir in a nutrient cycle consists of an abiotic portion and an exchange pool, where there is a rapid exchange that occurs between the biotic and abiotic aspects. The gaseous cycles exist in the atmosphere, air, or oceans through evaporation. The different gaseous cycles are the nitrogen cycle, carbon cycle, oxygen cycle, and the water cycle. The sedimentary cycles have the Earth's crust as the reservoir pool. These cycles include the chemical components that are more earthbound, such as iron, calcium, sulfur, etc. The gaseous cycles move more rapidly when compared to the sedimentary cycles. One of the primary reasons for this could be the large atmospheric reservoir. Let us understand the basics of a few important nutrient cycles. Let's read about carbon cycle. When you study the composition of living organisms, carbon constitutes 49% of dry weight of organisms and is next only to water. If we look at the total quantity of global carbon, we find that 71% carbon is found dissolved in oceans. This oceanic reservoir regulates the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Do you know that the atmosphere only contains about 1% of total global carbon? Fossil fuel also represent a reservoir of carbon. Carbon cycling occurs through atmosphere, ocean and through living and dead organisms. According to one estimate, 4 × 10^13 kg of carbon is fixed annually in the biosphere through photosynthesis. A considerable amount of carbon returns to the atmosphere as CO2 through respiratory activities of the producers and consumers. Decomposers also contribute substantially to CO2 pool by their processing of waste materials and dead organic matter of land or oceans. Some amount of the fixed carbon is lost to sediments and removed from circulation. Burning of wood, forest fire and combustion of organic matter, fossil fuel, volcanic activity are additional sources for releasing CO2.